All right, guys, I'm about to blow your mind. What you're about to watch is a bit controversial, and so I'm going to start by asking you one simple question. Are you involuntarily celibate, or at least undersexed, underloved, and underappreciated? If so, we need to talk. My name's Drew Amend with Pheromone Advantage, and I'm here to talk about the most exciting news about sex in years. And I don't know how you found this website or who referred you here, but you're here now, and that's all that matters, because this will be the most important website or video you've ever watched. Let me explain why. In this short video, I'm going to show you how new advances in human pheromone technology are helping men just like you and I to attract women like a magnet. No matter who you are or how well you play your game, pheromones can help you take it to the next level. Even if you don't think of yourself as being attractive now, even if you're married and haven't had sex in years, or even if you're single and you've never been on a date, are you a man? Perfect. Because you're about to learn precisely what pheromones men can use to attract any woman, even your wife, even if she's rebuffed your advances in the past. Plus, I'll share with you how pheromones saved me from a life of isolation and the dirty little secrets that men have shared with me over the years, and precisely how they have used pheromones to attract women and get their love lives back on track, and how you can use the same pheromone technology to experience more affection, more intimacy, more sex than you ever thought possible. Be sure to watch this video in its entirety, because I have a very special surprise in store for the guys who watch this to the very end, and you definitely don't want to miss out on that. And be sure to watch it now, because at any moment we may be forced to take this video down by the media big shots who all seem to think that you should know about this amazing new technology. And let me tell you, consider it destiny to have found this video in the first place, because you won't see something like this advertised on TV because they simply won't allow it. Now, you may be wondering why you should listen to me and a single word I have to say about human pheromone technology. Long story short, my father, Dr. Virgil Amend, and I first got interested in pheromones when I was a pre-med student at Wichita State University in the mid-90s. At that time, you couldn't buy pheromones anywhere. Plus, there was virtually no internet back then. So we did a hefty amount of research and created our first batch of pheromone supplements in the spring of 2000. And the results were nothing less than spectacular. Since 2000, we have continued to follow every research paper ever written on the subject and have perfected our formulation after 17 iterations and countless tests and observations. There isn't anything about pheromones that we haven't read, researched, or tested ourselves. And I'll explain everything that you need to know about pheromones and how it can dramatically improve your love life if you promise me this one thing, that if you qualify to try Dr. Amend's Pheromone Advantage for yourself, that you'll do so responsibly. Promise? Okay, great. So let's get started, and this will only take a few minutes. I'll start by mentioning why we created this formulation in the first place. Let's just say the old saying, need is the mother of all invention, holds true for both myself and my father. And just because a man is married, it doesn't mean that he's getting his needs met, emotionally or sexually. In fact, sexless marriages are an epidemic among men these days, and experts agree that having sex less than 10 times a year is considered to be a sexless marriage. Is that you? Let me ask you a question. It's not just sexless, is it? You, like me, know that sexless is also affectionless. An affectionless marriage can be its own kind of nightmare. Being married and living with someone that you can't have is like being in a room full of air that lacks oxygen. You can breathe it, but you're not getting anything from it. And just because you're married and going through all the motions, you're not getting your needs met. You die just a little bit each and every day because you feel invisible, trapped. But you don't want a divorce for all the obvious reasons: breaking up a family, finances, the idea of your wife finding somebody else, or worse, the thought of your kids calling someone else dad someday because your marriage fell apart is an unthinkable thought. Plus, the idea of living, or worse, dying alone is unbearable. So you put up with it, night after night, lying in the dark with the one and only woman that you're morally allowed to touch, and she's not having it. Plus, every discussion about sex ends up in a fight, and somehow it becomes your entire fault. Usually, it starts with something like, "Is that all you think about, blah, blah, blah?" And if she does give in and agrees to have sex, it's not like making love, is it? You may as well be in bed with a motionless mannequin. And when it's all over, you actually feel worse and lonelier than you did before you had sex. Why? Because newsflash, You don't want her just to give it up. You want her to love it and to want to do it. You want to be wanted. Your ego demands it, and your heart breaks for it. The loneliness of it all seems endless. And for single men, believe it or not, being alone can seem even more hopeless. Not a day goes by that a single man doesn't feel the pain of loneliness. Plus, every holiday and every party or event is just another reminder to yourself and to the rest of the world that you're single. When all of your guy friends are married and you're still single, it's its own brand of stigma that you have to live with every time that you see them. The world is built for couples, and couples are built for couples. Single people just don't seem to fit in, except, well, with other singles, and that's another thing. If you've ever been with a group of aging single women, you'll know what I mean when I say it's a bit like entering the island of broken and misfit toys. God love them, but there's a reason why they're single. A good catch is rare and endangered species, and a really good catch is either already taken or she's not single for very long. The trick is to be able to attract her within that small window of opportunity, to be the one that she gravitates to when that tiny window of opportunity opens up and she's finally available. And if it feels like you should have cracked this nut by now, trust me when I say it's not your fault. Pheromones could have given you the help that you needed long ago, but this information has been kept from you. The big media fat cats of the world have done everything that they can to keep you from learning about pheromones. Even print media won't allow us to get the message out about pheromones. They think they know what's best for you and what you should and shouldn't hear about. Well, screw them. You're here now, and that's all that matters. Because you're about to discover something so simple, so easy to use, and so outside of the box, you may not have ever considered it before now. And it's one of nature's secret weapons to bring the sexes together and to help them mate and continue the circle of life on this beautiful blue planet. And of course, I'm talking about pheromones. And the main question you may be asking yourself right now is, what are pheromones and how do they work and where do they come from? And those are great questions. And I'm glad you asked, because to explain it, I'll start by saying that pheromones are natural chemical hormones, like a scent that an animal emits to attract the opposite sex and draw them in. And by draw them in, I mean have sex, procreation. I don't know if maybe you've seen the power of pheromones at work, but didn't realize it at the time. But if you've ever seen a female dog or cat in heat or ovulating, what happens? You have to hide the female if you don't want her to get pregnant. You can't keep the males away, because when the female's in heat, she emits a powerful pheromone scent signaling her fertility. And the males pick up on the special scent, and they literally come from all around, seemingly out of the woodwork, just to mate with her. How else would they know that she's ovulating? It's the pheromones, and it drives the males wild with mating desire. Now, pheromones are not limited to attracting males. Females are highly sensitive to a specific kind of pheromone called androhormones that are very similar to testosterone. And I'll explain more on that in just a minute. One thing that you should know about pheromones is that nearly every species in the animal kingdom uses pheromones on some level to help find mates and procreate, including you and I. Now, scientists have known about pheromones in animals since the late 1800s, and it's been well documented that many species communicate and attract mates with chemical pheromone signals. But they were not discovered in humans until 1986 at the Monell Chemical Synthesis Center in Philadelphia. Since then, every aspect of pheromones in humans have been studied. It was discovered that men and women naturally produce and secrete pheromones like natural sexual musk through their sweat glands in concentrated amounts around their underarms, nipples, and groins. Now, several double-blind and university studies show that men and women exposed to pheromones instantly spike in circulating hormones that have a direct impact on elevated mood, attraction, and sex drive. One group of Swedish researchers were able to use brain images to demonstrate the subconscious effects that these odor signals have on the brain and the brain systems that affect social and emotional activity. These brain images showed that the arousing effects can occur in a matter of seconds. So imagine this. One moment, you're having a simple conversation with an attractive woman, and the next moment, she is feeling the irresistible tug of attraction for you. Her brain and hormones are subconsciously working on your behalf that you might get lucky. How amazing is that? When I first learned about these things, I was so excited. I was jumping out of my skin with anticipation. You see, All the time growing up and well into my 30s, I struggled with chronic shyness, especially when it came to women I was attracted to. Does this in any way sound familiar? Well, to make matters worse, I'm a terrible flirt. And to this day, I can't flirt my way out of a wet paper bag. And in the past, I always waited for women to make the first move. This didn't always work out for me before using pheromones, which may explain why I was 36 years old before I ever got married. To give you an example, let me tell you a quick story of how I met my now wife about a year after my father and I developed our first batch of pheromones. To make a long story short, we met on a weekend camping trip, and I was immediately attracted to her. I hadn't expected to meet anyone, and I didn't bring or wear any pheromones. The whole weekend, I kept trying to muster the courage and talk with her to ask her out. Of course, I was far too shy to make anything more than just small talk, much less flirt with her. It felt hopeless. Finally, early on Sunday morning, the last day of the trip, I was desperate because I really liked this woman and I needed to make a move, but time was running out. So I made an excuse that I needed to go home to get supplies, but what I really needed was the pheromones. When I returned, I brought a frisbee, and without any flirting, I asked this woman if she would like to throw the frisbee with me. By the time we were done throwing the frisbee, we started talking, and she ended up asking me out. Yes, I humbly admit she made the first move and gave me her phone number. But after that first date, it was on. The pheromones did their job by helping break the ice. This wasn't the first time I used pheromones to get the woman to make the first move, and it's why I was willing to drive 2.5 hours to get home and back again before the trip ended. It worked like a charm, and by a charm, I mean we got married about 3 months later on October 11th, 2001, and it's been a great ride ever since. I've told this story before more than once, and people have asked me why I needed to run home, or more specifically, why our natural pheromones are not working as well as when we use lab-grade pheromones on the skin. And it's a great question, and it deserves a simple answer. You see, here's the problem with our natural pheromones and why they're going largely unnoticed. It has to do with modern conveniences. We wash away, hide, mask, or cover up 99% of our natural pheromones with daily bathing, layers of clothing, and endless amounts of soap and fragrances. With every shower or bath, our love lives are literally going down the drain. Now, it may seem like I'm reaching for the obvious pun here, but the fact of the matter is that it happens to be true. But just because we wash them away doesn't mean that we don't have the means to detect and respond to pheromones in amazing ways. In a moment, I'll show you how men can supplement with ultra-high quality, lab-grade pheromones on the exposed areas of skin like the back of the neck, forearms, in just a minute. However, before I do, let me show you precisely how pheromones work so that you'll know how to use them for maximum effect. According to Dr. Ivana Savik at the Karolinska Institute, the whole process starts with a tiny organ called the VNO, which stands for vomeronasal organ. In most animals, including humans, the VNO is a half-moon-shaped structure just a few centimeters inside the nasal cavity, and its sole function is to detect pheromone scent in the air. When the nearly odorless scent of pheromones are detected in sufficient quantity, the VNO sends a signal along specialized nerve pathways, now known as the O nerve. Signals lead from the VNO and run directly to the limbic area of the brain. Now, the limbic area, including the hypothalamus, is also known as the seat of emotions, and it's well known for its ability to alter emotions, hormones, and reproductive and sexual behavior. Ordinary non-pheromone smells, such as scents of food or flour, are recognized by a different part of the nose called the olfactory epithelium, which does not reach the limbic area. Because pheromones are nearly odorless, we can't see them. All these events occur subconsciously. Even though we can't see them or smell them, pheromones can arouse a woman's interest with gut-level passion by triggering attraction signals that she's already programmed to feel. Are you married? Can you remember back when it felt like it seemed that the two of you couldn't keep your hands off of each other? Imagine for a moment what it would feel like again if pheromones could quietly awaken a playfulness in your wife, giving her a renewed sexual interest in you. Or perhaps you're single. How much better would your love life be if the casual conversations you have throughout the day were with women that were wildly attracted to you? Now, with the advent of human pheromone technology, these pheromone scents can be synthesized in a laboratory and worn on the skin as a lotion for maximum effect. Best part is, pheromones are practically odorless, and no one will know you're wearing them. I don't know when you'll first notice them working. Perhaps you'll be at home with your wife or in a public store or restaurant. In public places, you'll notice women giving you more lingering looks and sideway glances. Perhaps you'll be at a store and seem to be getting more flirtatious attention from the female staff than you're normally used to. Or you'll be at home as you welcome more affectionate overtures and sexual spontaneity from your wife or girlfriend. But when you notice them working, you might crack a little smile or a smirk to yourself, knowing that you have a little secret that's all your own, and it will feel good. Now, one more thing, and this is important to understand, and that is that men and women respond to different types of pheromones. Let me just take a few seconds to explain. Now, women respond to a class of pheromones called androhormones. These are the 3 specific hormones in Dr. Men's formula to attract women, and each are derivatives of testosterone. Men naturally secrete these hormone scents through their sweat glands and are found in concentrated amounts in areas such as the underarms, nipples, and groin. And women are aroused by this pheromone sense. And without her conscious awareness, her VNO will pick up on the presence of these pheromones, and in a few moments later, her body begins to prepare itself for sex by releasing hormones that affect mood and sexual desire. Applying pheromone advantage is as easy as applying a few drops on the exposed areas of skin like the back of the neck and the forearms. And that's it. The pheromones would do the rest on their own. Now, can you imagine being armed with pheromones and walking into a crowded venue, and as you make your way through the room of women, eyes behind you begin to follow your every move? When you stop and turn, you notice lingering looks and smiles greeting your glance as you look back. And in no time at all, conversational and flirting opportunities pop up around you like little hungry birds looking for a little snack of you. Now, in a moment, you can take advantage of this phenomenal advance in modern science for yourself. But first, I want you to hear from a few of our anonymous customers who responded to a survey that we sent out. So far, so good. Usually it takes me weeks to get up the courage to talk to any woman. There's a coworker I hoped would notice me, but she always walked past me without a thought. Then, when I used the pheromone advantage, the first time I walked by her in the hall and she asked me how I was doing. That led to her coming over to my office and she asked me if I wanted to go for drinks. Well, it's only been a couple of weeks, but so far so good. Another customer said, Dr. Men's pheromone advantage has landed me the woman of my dreams. Right from when we first met, she was attracted to me. We've been dating now for 6 weeks, and everything is progressing well. She's told me that she doesn't understand why she's attracted to me because I'm not her usual type. Dr. Men's pheromone advantage worked for me. I got it to wake up my wife. It works. We went from doing the wild thing from once a week to 5 to 6 times weekly. Be careful though, if you're married, it also seems to attract other women, not just your wife. Okay, well let's recap. If you're in any way feeling underappreciated and have a burning desire to turn things around and you want to go on more dates or have more affection and more intimacy from your present relationship, and if you consistently get that feeling that things could be better, or that you're concerned that your current relationship barely has a pulse and you want to give it that jolt of attraction that it needs, then Dr. Men's blend of pheromones to attract women will literally flood your love life with a tsunami of female attention, affection, love, intimacy, and sex that you so very much deserve and need. If you're ready to feel more alive than you ever have in your life and have more passion, more romance than you ever dreamt possible, then I'm going to give you this opportunity right now to get your hands on your very own personal supply of Pheromone Advantage as a member of our VIP test group. You're about to try the Rolls-Royce of pheromone supplements. This means that harnessing the attraction powers of these amazing pheromones is as easy as clicking the button below when it appears below on this page in just a moment. You see, Pheromone Advantage is completely different than any low-quality pheromone products that you might find on the internet today that mostly smell like cheap cologne that you might find at a yard sale. Instead, Pheromone Advantage is nearly odorless and contains no added fragrances whatsoever. It's made with a special process and with the highest quality, purest lab-grade pheromones in the world. We have spared no expense to conduct the most cutting-edge research and then circle the globe to find the very best ingredients for the purest and most effective formulation possible. But that literally limits the supply of this pheromone formula each month, because we have to import these ingredients from all around the world. And because one of the key pheromone ingredients to our formula is so rare, it costs over $700 a gram and is constantly in short supply. If you tried to get your hands on all the ingredients in just a single bottle of Pheromone Advantage, you'd pay well over $500. But because you've made it to this website through a special invitation, you won't pay $500. You won't pay $300 or even $200. But I'm not stopping there. If you act right now and reserve your bottle of Dr. Min's Pheromone Advantage to attract women, you'll have a spot in our VIP group, which entitles you to our VIP pricing at only $49.95 per bottle. Why would I approve of such a drastic break in price? Well, the answer is actually simple. In our pursuit to push the boundaries of our research, we need people to share the results with us, specifically the ever-increasing benefits that begin to start when you've been using Pheromone Advantage for 30 days or more. To that end, I've instructed the lab to set aside an entire supply of Pheromone Advantage so that you can share your success stories with us, and my team of scientists will have a growing body of evidence to show the long-term properties of this amazing product. Think about it. You'd pay more than $49.95 for dinner and a movie, or a membership to a dating website, or 10 days of getting your coffee at Starbucks. And none of these things, not even the dating website, can give you the kind of dating and mating potential that pheromones can give you each and every day. Are you ready to experience the power of Pheromone Advantage? Good. But I'm going to make a deal that you cannot pass up. You don't even have to make a decision right now. In fact, I'm so totally confident that you're going to love Pheromone Advantage and that it's going to change your love life for the better. I'm doing something our accountants are telling me I simply can't do. I'm going to let you try Pheromone Advantage for a full 6 months. And if for any reason you're not fully delighted with the results, simply return the unused portion and I'll buy it back. That's right. I'll send you the full bottle of Pheromone Advantage right now. And if at any time you decide that it's not working for you within 6 months, just return the unused portion, no questions asked. A full 6 months. Am I nuts? Well, maybe, but I wanted to personally get our awesome Pheromone Advantage into as many VIP hands as I can before our supplies run out. I'm 100% convinced of the power of Pheromone Advantage. I am willing to stick my neck out there and take all the risk. I want you to experience the effects of this proprietary blend of rare, ultra-quality, lab-grade pheromones for yourself and wake up to a happier, more satisfied version of yourself. And if you don't, I'll give you back your money, no questions asked. I only ask that you send me the empty bottle. Now, I have a hunch that Pheromone Advantage will be so effective at attracting the opposite sex. Let me give you fair warning because of the dramatic results that people just like you are already experiencing. You might find out that you need to be humble when people start to notice the changes in your life. The extra spring in your step, the glow of confidence that radiates from a man whose love life is giving them everything that they had hoped and dreamt for. Okay, here's the situation though. You're really going to need to act right now. We've only set aside a certain number of bottles for the VIP membership, and when they're gone, they're gone. And while you're waiting for your supply of Pheromone Advantage, I'm going to tell you to get ready for some action. Go get that haircut or trim that beard that you've been putting off. Trust me when I say that you want to be ready for just about anything, because just about anything could and will likely happen on a regular basis. When you use pheromones, women start to linger their attention with more smiles, more eye contact, and playful touching. All conversations seem more intense when women start dropping bold sexual innuendos when no one else is looking or listening, and you will notice them consistently working harder to keep the conversation flowing. This immediate and positive feedback helps you become more confident around women, as you find it exceedingly more easy to talk with women that you've never met. Imagine yourself talking and mixing it up with several women at once in flirtatious ways you never dreamt possible. So right now, you have two options as I see it. Option one, you can keep doing what you've been doing and getting the same results, which is insane. Or option two, if we haven't sold out by the time you read this, join us right now and get your personal supply of Pheromone Advantage on its way to you. But hurry, I can't stress this enough. You need to act and secure your place in our VIP test group. There are literally hundreds of men watching this very same video right now, and soon there will be a button appearing below this video. When it does, you need to click it right away and fill out the information on the very next page to get your spot secured. Now, because you've watched the video all the way to this point, it becomes clear to me that two things are true about you. Number one, you're a man who's serious about his love life and that you're ready to take action. And number two, you know that you're looking for something to take you to the next level. Something that will help you get over the hump in your love life and begin to feel appreciated and loved again, to feel the warm embrace of your woman's arms holding you tight once again each and every day. However, if the next page says sold out, I apologize in advance that some other guy has already taken your spot for now, and I urge you not to let that happen. Click the button below, fill out the page, and we'll rush you your very own supply of Pheromone Advantage straight to your door. From the moment it arrives, you can put it on and take it for a test spin. Where will you go? What will you do? Perhaps you'll go to the mall or a crowded restaurant and start to notice more flirtations, second glances, and wide smiles and open eyes. Or maybe you'll just wait for your wife or girlfriend to get home and notice them maybe sitting a little closer, or even just stopping everything that she's doing just to talk with you about her day as the mood between you warms up. And don't forget that if you're not satisfied for any reason, you can return the unused portion and get a full refund within 6 months of the purchase date. You really have nothing to lose. Click the button below right now and get started before it's too late. There's no time to waste. I wish I could make the decision for you and press the button so I could personally guarantee that you get your spot, but it's up to you now. Remember the saying, "He who hesitates is lost"? Well, this is especially true for people who are looking for a better life. In fact, it really should say, "He who hesitates will lose." Why do I say that? Because if you let life pass you by and hesitate, just like the time I drove 2.5 hours to get my supply of pheromones because I was too shy to make the first move. Had I hesitated, I don't think I would be where I'm at today. I have no doubt that pheromones bridged the confidence gap for me and helped me meet my wife by getting her to make the first move. Click the button on this page and claim your spot in our exclusive test group before it's taken by somebody else. Now, one more thing. Do you secretly find yourself looking at attractive women thinking, why can't I find a woman like that? Or somehow you see a happy couple and wonder if you'll be alone for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be that way anymore. You can be that person. Click the button and get your personal supply of Pheromone Advantage, and don't let loneliness ruin another minute of your life. Take action. Take control of your life. Thank you for watching this video, and I wish you the very best of luck to the lucky few men who are about to reserve their supply of Pheromone Advantage and get in on the other side. And when you do, I have an exclusive surprise waiting for you right afterwards. I hope to see you there soon, and remember our personal 100% satisfaction guarantee. All you have to do is say, yes, I want more love, more affection, more sex. I understand that I can return the product at any time and request a 100% money-back refund, less shipping and handling with absolutely no hassle. Plus, all the free reports are mine to keep no matter what. You'll be so happy that you did when you start seeing immediate results.